Season 12, Episode 9, Tropical Seascape. This is where I thought for sure I'd be able to beat Bob at the sky, because this is just basically laying down a bunch of spray paint. But turned out when I timed the two, it took me 3 minutes to make this sky, and it took Bob 2.5 minutes to make his sky. I don't know how he does it and make it look so effortless, but it's a pretty amazing thing. And also, I put this video together and all the clips together for total amount of working time turned out to be an hour, about an hour and 20 minutes. And of course, this is about 26 minutes. So I don't know where I'm eating up my time, but there you go. I'm just doing the best I can. I think I'm doing a lot more like fiddling and fussing with things, which is probably what's taking more time. Also, I'm mixing and blending paints on pallets and in Dixie cups and things like that, where he has everything ready to roll on a pallet. So I don't know, maybe just a lot of combinations of things, but this is a pretty fun painting. I like the bright colors, the sky with the purple. Actually, it's a lilac, a light lavender color, and the blue and the yellow, and it's kind of a coral color for the upper section. And this is just pure white. I went ahead and peeled off the reveal, and I decided on this one to go ahead and cut in the horizon and the water behind the wave by hand instead of spraying it, because I wanted to take care of that eye of the wave and not have any paint behind it. I wanted it to be pure cardstock for that eye of the wave. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint the horizon and the waves behind the main wave all by hand, so that partly I'm going to do it just like Bob did it in a way, obviously with spray paint, but in the same manner of the way he did it. And this was just building from the back forward. So what I did was I took the navy blue, laid that down first, and then took the lighter blues and then pulled them into it to create that trough that he talks about. And that seemed to be working pretty well. There was still some back and forth, but I felt like putting it on the bare cardstock and just working with the surface paint seemed to help a lot with control. Again, it does dry quickly. Obviously, you know, as soon as you put it down, it starts drying. So there is that workability issue. And that, I think, is one of the other things that slows me down, is that I'm not able to just go over one portion of the wave and then move on. I have to fuss with it and kind of come back and add more dark navy blue, add more light blue in order to blend the two together. So that's a lot of the time killing that happens. Once I got all the waves formed, I decided to bring in a lighter blue to start the process of the foam at the tops of the waves. So I wanted to get the lighter blue first, kind of create kind of a shadow effect and kind of make the foam a little deeper than just adding straight white on top first. So that's why I brought this blue into it, and then also added some of the foam in the trough of the wave as well. Then later on, I would, when it's this kind of set a little bit more, bring in some white and create that real brilliant white highlight foam. That yellow on top of the foam really gives it that pop, gives it that glittery kind of sun gleaming on the surface of the water. Now it's time to tackle that eye of the wave, and this is where I'm working with a very, very pale yellow right directly on the cardstock, and I feel like that this was the answer at this point for now, until something better comes along, obviously. But this really gave me a lot more control of the blending, and also any kind of issue with there being paint underneath, which was becoming a issue as far as previous paintings, seascape paintings. So this is really super way to just keep everything pure in color. Now I have noticed that that dark navy blue mixing with the lighter blues actually creates a gray. I'm not sure why that is, but for some reason it's the only one that does that when it's mixed, and then the lighter blue comes seeping through the navy blue. So what I've learned I had to do was kind of let all that kind of set a bit and then reintroduce the navy blue on top. But it was a effective way to keep a nice dark shadow in there. And then once I got everything kind of laid down to get ready to blend, I hit everything with some clear, because the clear helps to kind of loosen all the paint up and help to create a better blending effect. Because if you don't add the clear, then you're really fighting with time, and that is all the colors are really starting to dry. They're all trying to dry very quickly, and so the clear just kind of keeps it a little bit more malleable and easier to work with. I just left that yellow alone and for the very last until I was ready to pull it into the other blues, because I knew that once I started fussing with the yellow, I was going to contaminate it with the other colors, and so I just kind of had to play it by ear and just try to create a blend from the center of that yellow or the left edge of that yellow and bring it into the blue and just keep cleaning my brush, because I didn't want to contaminate that yellow or introduce any other blues or any color at all into that yellow. Now here's just bringing in some more lighter colors to kind of create that wave effect, trying to continue to work wet on wet, because that seems to make it look a little bit more realistic rather than letting all this dry. But there is that factor of wet on really wet and wet on starting to tack up, which is kind of a better thing when you're at this point. You're just trying to create these wave shapes and foam into the wave. Now I'm going to bring that same pale yellow to create the top of the wave, and then with the fan brush and some light blue, just bring in some streaks. I feel like this was one of the better ones that I've done so far as the streaks, and that kind of make it really look like it's sweeping over the top. Kept it light, just like Bob does in his painting. And then I'm going to introduce the dark shadow underneath the edge of the wave and the foam that really creates that contrast that he talks about. Once kind of the paint is pretty set, the navy blue becomes more stable, but you can't really fully blend that navy blue like I'd like to, because it for some reason, like I said, it turns gray. Now I'm just going to do the same basic build of medium blue and then a lighter blue and an even lighter blue, and just create that super depthy kind of, where there's a lot of depth in the foam. Just blend all those together. Then I'll finally introduce the white at the very end after everything's kind of set a little bit more, to create that real super highlight on top of the foam of the wave. Trees are the reward for all the hard work. I love doing these. It's just that satisfaction of just being able to put down this really cool looking tree right over the top of all the things you've just done. I really like this part of it. Super easy, and with the fan brush, it just makes it super easy to make the palm leaves. Just adding some highlight with some lighter brown color, and then going back with the knife to just kind of break it up a little, give that texture look, so it's not too just like super clean cut along the edges. Makes it look more like bark. Now I'm just trying to use the knife straight up and just pull it right into the trunk. It's not where you want to mess up. But if you do, you can always add more foam in there. Like I said, this fan brush is just, it's like made for these kind of palm leaves because the shape of the brush and the coarseness of the bristles of the brush just make it super fun and easy to make these palm branches. Few little blades of grass, and then there are 3 little places in the sky that got a little paint splattered on it. It's like there's 3 of them, and so this is what I'm going to do with those. One was a pretty dark color like that. I don't know where that came from, but decided, well, we're going to make him a bird. So, and then there was a couple more, and I just covered them over with this, and we got 3 seagulls. And that ends this painting. There's my final, and here's Bob's, and then back to mine again. Hope you enjoyed this and get a chance to do it too. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.